Hello.
Je me présente à vous.
I'd like to offer my thoughts to you, not in order to talk about the head or the heart of video and film editing, but to discuss something that we can consider the right arm that is inextricably linked with these activities. Since the rise of computing power, the areas of image and its applied performance has been multiplied. Because of this, digital editing allows growing possibilities and has led to innovative solutions. And so, I'd like to talk to you about EDIUS 10. So, we are all looking for a comfortable, easy to use, and powerful solution, or at least one of these three characteristics. So what are the important factors to us when considering the tools of our trade? We can discuss this matter together in the comments section of this video, but for now, let's get to our subject. I was just talking to you about the heart, and indeed, the heart or core of EDIUS 10 has been completely redesigned to be able to offer new performance and new working possibilities. This particularly affects the background processing features. But this is another topic, which we will look at in another episode, because today I want to talk about 8K. In a second part of this presentation series, we will have a look at motion tracking and how to apply it. And finally, in a third and final part, we will talk about background rendering and its advantages and methodology. We will also have a special section in which we will look at the new plugins that are included for free with EDIUS 10, such as the new Blue Titler Pro 7 EDIUS 10, ProDAD Vitascene version 4 EDIUS edition, and the Acon Digital EDIUS editions. In the last part, we will have a look at what is, in my experience, a recurring theme of how to work effectively with EDIUS 10 on computers or notebooks that don't exactly have high-performance processors. But now, let's have a look at 8K. Let's go.
C'est parti. Bienvenue au studio.
Welcome to the studio. Before I start, I'd like to offer a little tour and show you the machine on which I work every day. The computer has an Intel i7 6700K processor with 32 GB of RAM. To make work more pleasant, two monitors are connected to it, and the image is also output to a video monitor via Blackmagic Design HDMI card. You will see that EDIUS can run perfectly well even on this older system. So now I'm going to load EDIUS. For this 8K project, we shot a few images with Nicolas in the forest. The idea was to make a short film. We hadn't planned anything specific for this scene, we just had a few ideas in mind, but we still had a common thread to follow. We shot the video with a Samsung S20 smartphone that offers 8K recording. So now we'll create a new project, an HD project in 1920 by 1080 50p. And then we can progress with our video. The next steps we will pass over rather quickly, because this video is not a tutorial. There are several free tutorials on the internet, and you also always have the option of getting in touch with your reseller and buying a complete and in-depth tutorial. So the first thing I'll do now is import our raw footage.
Donc là,
Edius also transfers the material into the project folder because I selected this option during import. In the next step, we will sort the clips. By the way, for this shooting, we also had a Mavic mini drone, which recorded in 1920 by 1080 at 50p. You will see how easy it is in Edius to mix the different footage. This is a little bonus in this video.
Voilà. Alors,
there will be no conversion. Edius simply adjusts the imported files. Now we are going to start sorting out a little bit, because we also did some test shoots with 120p with the same smartphone.
avec le smartphone. Alors, pourquoi j'ai choisi de proposer une vidéo sur le 8K?
So I chose to make a video on working in Edius with 8K because I wanted to show that Edius is always up to date with the latest technology, and this since years.
Et ça depuis des années. On a
We always have the latest codecs and the latest compatibility integrated gradually into the software.
au fur et à mesure dans le logiciel.
So when you own, for example, version 10 or 9, you know that you get free updates for the whole life cycle of the software.
Qui le connaissent, vous avez pu mettre à jour
This way,
régulièrement
you always have the right codec support for new cameras that come onto the market in the life cycle of a version.
qui sortait,
The same will continue with Edius 10.
et c'est ce qui va se poursuivre avec Edius 10. Donc le 8K, je trouve que c'est intéressant dans ce sens-là parce que c'est
However, I find 8K interesting because it is not used often yet, but it is becoming more popular.
en source.
And you even have some smartphones which support this format.
Et voilà. Donc
So this is why I wanted to make this video.
de visualisation. Alors, on va aller chercher les rushs en 8K.
So here I'm getting the footage in 8K. And now I'm going to sort everything.
Là aussi. Hop. Donc là, on a du 120p. 120, 120, 120. Hop.
So here we have the 120p footage,
Ça, c'est un rush parasitique
and here we have a parasitic rush.
classé.
And now everything is sorted, we can start watching it.
Donc là, déjà, je clique deux fois sur le rush 8K.
So when I click on the 8K clip, it is displayed on the monitor and via the video output, because indeed we have an output conversion to the project format,
Là, on est sur un projet
which is 1920 by 1080 50p.
Donc, si je fais la lecture, on voit que le format
But we can see that Edius deals with this format without a problem.
Alors,
But I can notice here that the audio is a bit jerky and the clip doesn't run smoothly.
car je pense
I think this is because my processor is not able to decode 8K in real time.
en temps réel.
As I mentioned before, it's an older
On peut
system.
avoir plusieurs solutions.
But this can
La première
easily be fixed. We have several options.
c'est d'essayer
The first thing I can do
changer le
is to have a look at the draft mode.
Et ça, c'est nouveau.
This is something new for owners of the Edius 10 Pro version. Since version 9, this option was only available for work group users.
Dégrader un petit peu la qualité de la
The draft mode allows us to reduce the quality of the video preview so the processor and RAM have less to process.
Voilà, donc là, je suis passé en qualité
So if I set the quality to half, we notice that the clip runs much more smoothly. We must also consider the fact that Edius reframes the footage. 8K is put in a 1920 by 1080 project, and additionally, Edius interpolates from 24p to 50p. Because if we look at the properties of a clip, we can see that we are on H.265 24p. It should be known that H.265 is not easy to decode for processors today. So we can safely say that Edius is doing a good job in handling it.
Action. Alors, ce plan-là, je vais le prendre quand même si...
I will take this shot anyway, even if we see that the foreground was sharp rather than the person. Too bad. But for demonstration purposes, we will take it anyway. Here we have a rough cut with an 8K source. I was able to achieve this quite easily thanks to the reduced preview at 50%, or half. But in general, this type of H.265 and 8K material is difficult to decode for my processor, also considering that the i7-6700K is not a racehorse. It is a computer which is extremely reasonable in purchase cost. So here, I think we're going to add some clips. And there, I think we have a nice one. So as you can see, I'm going from 24p 8K to 1920 50p. I didn't have any conversion necessary before compiling this. Putting all this up is really easy. And now we'll add a little music. And here we'll have a little fade in the intro. Of course, we still have a lot of adjustments to do later on. But all of these steps are explained in online tutorials. This video is just to show you how up-to-date Edius is, and in particular Edius 10, with the ability to deal with 8K material. So, mission accomplished. And so now we're going to see if we can ramp up the project somewhat. So I go to Settings and Project Settings. And it's very much appreciated that you can change the project settings in Edius even during editing or before exporting. So here, I will now modify the current settings, and we will switch to an UHD project. So here I have to change the render format to at least Grass Valley HQX. Okay, we are done with the project settings, and we still have a video output. But this time, I have a small notification at the bottom telling me that the video has been converted. The card can preview 4K, but not in 50p. So we did set the project to 4K 25p. That's why I got the notification about an ongoing conversion. Now we can see that the computer is having a little trouble playing the video. This is normal. If I set the preview quality to full mode, the playback will suffer even more. This is normal. But in doing this, I wanted to show you that we can quickly switch an HD project to UHD.
On peut passer d'un projet Full HD, passer vite fait sur de l'UHD, et avec la version Workgroup.
And with the Workgroup version, I can also choose an 8K 50p project.
Un format 8K UHD 50p, vu que la source était en 50p.
The footage is in 50p. And the project is in 50p, but the preview is still in 4K 25p. So if we lower the preview playback to half, the playback runs smoothly. So that's pretty amazing. Well, at the moment, we're only running at half the resolution of 8K, but we can go up to 8K if we have 8K footage. So I think if we start doing color grading and add effects, we will have a drop in real-time functionality. That's why I often rather start with HD projects to play back the timeline and then switch to 8K on the last moment before exporting. And I could very easily export in 8K. That wouldn't be a problem.
Il n'y a aucun souci là-dessus.
So this was the first episode of the Edius 10 presentation in French. I hope you liked it and that you will join again for the next episode, which you will find listed below in the video description. So, I hope to see you again for the next tutorials, and please leave comments below and I will respond as much as possible. In this way, we can advance the format and discuss future videos. So, happy editing, happy filming, and I hope to see you soon.
À bientôt!